Superfit 6, our yellow tree formula, made from the berries of a yew tree that's the oldest recorded tree in England. This tree is well over 3,000 years old, and yet it's still producing yew berries. So you can imagine that the genetic coding of that tree, those essences, are so powerful. This formula is called Digest. It's made of many other yellow essences, but it fundamentally supports the solar plexus and the region of the body, which is the abdomen. This valuable yellow formula supports the governor meridian, yes, the liver meridian, the kidney meridian, the small intestines meridian, the pancreas meridian. And these are all the meridians that are linked with the digestive organs of the human body. It's a very, very fascinating energy, yellow energy, and it's damaged and disturbed by two different emotions. One is anger, real anger. Anger is a very destructive energy, and there are many different types of anger. Anger, which can be brutal and aggressive, where people shout and hurt and they're violent. And then there's the other type of anger, which is suppressed, where you bottle it all up. It's like a pressure cooker. It bubbles and boils, and it ferments and inside the body and creates very destructive conditions. And then there's bitter anger, bitter rage. Often that's the anger of the victim of rage and anger. If you've ever been involved in a row where there are cross voices and aggression, it's not very pleasant. Furthest type of anger is when we just feel deeply traumatized and angry about situations in our environment. Often that is a sort of wrath, where there's an anger about something which is actually quite, because something's unjust. So you can see that there are very many different types of anger, and they all have a negative effect on our bodies, and particularly the way our livers function. And the other yellow emotion is stress. And this, of course, is terribly common in modern society. Stress affects our digestive system. Stress affects our kidneys. Stress affects our lower back and causes backache and back pain. Often when we feel very, very stressed, our adrenal glands malfunction and we suffer with exhaustion and adrenal fatigue. This very interesting formula, Digest, is useful to support whenever we have inflammatory response in our tummy. Whenever we suffer with that condition that's very common in modern society called IBS. This is actually an inflammatory response, and it's practically always emotional. But interestingly enough, when we are emotionally stressed or angry, we often find it very difficult to metabolize our food. This formula is very much tied up with having an understanding of the type of foods that we should be eating. Much of the food in modern society is contaminated with chemicals, and this makes it very, very difficult for our bodies to metabolize properly. One of the most worrying conditions also in modern society is diabetes and obesity. You only have to look around you when you're walking down the street to see how many people in modern society are overweight. It seems to be a real crisis, There are many, many factors that cause this weight problems. And funnily enough, it's not just food. It's not just overeating. Of course, if you eat too much, you will put on weight. That's a fact. And if you don't eat enough, you will lose the weight. And that's also a fact. But the real tragedy is that many people who are obese in modern society are actually physically starving. They're not eating the right food. Their food is not nutritionally valuable. This is an extraordinarily important formula, Digest formula, our yew formula, Superfit 6. This formula helps people to discipline themselves, helps them to feel calmer, helps them to metabolize more easily, and helps people when they feel very, very stressed. If you'd like to know more about this formula, please don't hesitate to contact us.